Hello, magical humans. Evelyn Starlight of the Empath Healer. And today I want to talk to you about a practice that I use because as empaths, highly sensitive people, anybody who works with energy, we are constantly moving energy to and through us. And in doing so, we have an overactive nervous system, meaning that we are influenced by lights, sounds, experiences, people, noise, you name it. And what it does is it creates a elevated urgency within our bodies. So this geared up urgency impacts us in a way that we become overstimulated. And once we become overstimulated, we can get highly irritated, we can get snappy, we can get, I get bitchy, some people get mean, because we don't know how to take this information or this overwhelm or this overstimulation and use it in a way that is productive. So it can make us do a lot more than the average person, and it can kind of kick us into a higher gear, which feels a lot like hustling and like we can't rest ever. And even when we are resting, we're not really resting because our minds are going and our bodies are humming. So the way that I look at this is like even going to work, when we go shopping, anytime we leave the house, we are gearing our nervous system up because we take in so much information. It's called a depth of processing, meaning every time we enter a room, we enter a space, we are looking at everything and we've read everybody's emotions. We can sense everything that's going on. And so we are constantly moving things through our brains and through our bodies. And if you're an empath, even the emotions are moving through you. And so we gear up. And the more we do, the higher capacity that we have to gear up into higher and higher and higher gears. And how you'll notice this in your life is legitimately you can't settle. You can't get yourself to what I call gear down. And the reason I'm calling this video like how to gear as a HSP and empath is because I really, really, really want you to think of it as like a stick drive or like powering up and powering down. So gearing up and gearing down. So simply by getting out of bed, we automatically move into a first gear because we're processing our families, getting everybody out the door, if our animals need us, if we have partners, what they're doing. And so we're already kicking into a higher gear. Now add in getting ourselves ready for whatever event or experience we have for the day, leaving the house, we keep gearing up. If you have a lot of like meetings and events and things and you're out till later in the evening, you keep going into a higher and higher gear, creating that sense of, this feeling, that buzzing in your body. It can activate your fight or flight, your freeze or fawn responses. It can turn on like a switchboard every part of your nervous system. So gearing up is automatic and it's easy. We know how to gear up. Like I go to work, I go out grocery shopping, I do the things that I need to do in a day. I can promise you gearing up is not my problem. What we as empaths and highly sensitive people and anyone who works with energy need to learn to do is how to gear down. How do we go from being in an elevated, overstimulated nervous system to bringing ourselves back to neutral, and then even from a neutral state, down regulating into a restful space. And that's what I want to kind of talk to you about next, which is like, how do you personally go from gear up, gear down, shift, till you are completely at rest? So the first thing you need to understand about gearing down is you have to have the awareness and make it a practice to recognize that you are in a heightened nervous system state, that you are overstimulated. So that's kind of phase one. It's just like, okay, I'm getting irritated. I'm getting anxious. I feel like I'm snappy. I feel like I just can't settle. And that's your marker. That's the first thing you need to do is go like, whoa. I am clearly geared into the highest gear that my physical body can go into. And step one, I am acknowledging that this has happened. The next thing that you want to do is begin to practice different techniques that support you in allowing your energy field to soften gently in waves, bringing you back to a neutral state. Now, for some of you, that might look like getting yourself in nature. right? Get yourself outside automatically. If you can get your feet in the ground, you're going to notice that Earth Mama, she's just going to pull some energy right through you, and you're going to feel your energy soften. Going for a walk, going for a run, doing any exercise, also really great for, working through some energy, bringing yourself down. You can do gentle stretching, you could do yoga, you could do weight training. Any of these things work great. So does getting in the bath, allowing the water to wash or cleanse your energy, and making the intention that as the bath water is going down the drain, or even when you're in the shower, that you're letting go of any energy from the day that you're hanging on to that doesn't belong to you, and literally letting everything wash away from you. I even know some people will think about literally shifting gears. Like, so if you're in a gear, highest gear, then you can be like, whoop, vroom, vroom, and like imagine and feel as you like physically move your hand, that gearing down or that power down. I love powering down. That's my personal favorite. It's like, I'm powering down. And I'm like, ooh, that felt really good, right? So there's that as well. Next comes, what do you do once you get to that neutral state? How do you go from high gear to neutral to actually at rest? Truly letting your body soften into an ooey gooey, like relaxed, cozy, snuggly space. So everybody is different in terms of what it is for them to be creative or restful. And this is the fun opportunity for you to get curious and to play in some practices that you maybe haven't done before. So personally for me, one of the ways that I go from neutral into restful is through reading. I don't know about you, but if you are like just buzzing around and you're thinking too much about what's happening tomorrow and the next day and a month from now and a year from now, you can't read, right? Like your brain is like, I have to read this paragraph again and again. So it draws me into the present moment and it softens my nervous system. That might look different for you. It could look like drawing, it could look painting, it could be expressing yourself in some way, but it takes your energy from thinking about another day, another experience, and puts you in the present moment, which allows you truly to become into a restful place. Another way that you might find you go from neutral to restful is through breathing, right? Like if you practice box breathing, which is like in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and you can even do inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. And you can play with different ways in which you inhale, hold, exhale. You can add a hold at the bottom. You can also meditate. Meditation is exceptional, is taking from neutral to restful. That's another gear down that you can use. And so you want to find the ways and the practices that allow you to go from overstimulated to neutral to restful. And so these are the ones that I particularly use. And if you have ones that you use, obviously I want to hear about them in the comments below. Because the truth is, when we stay in those elevated, overstimulated, geared up spaces where our nervous system is just right fired up, it impacts our health in really big ways, right? It just doesn't allow for us to be able to feel less stressed. That stress then gets held in the body. It creates disease. There's so many ways in which being in a heightened, overwhelmed, overstimulated space impacts every aspect of health and wellness. And so gearing down is such an essential part of regulating your nervous system and making sure that you can show up in the highest vibration possible for yourself, for your family, for your work, for your loved ones, for your pets. I mean, just about anyone in your life is going to notice a huge difference when you're capable of gearing up and gearing down. And I want to share this really important thing because I don't want you to think that this is, how it has to be. But like when you're gearing down, what happens is you can actually output more productivity than if you're geared up and trying to do the same thing. You're just doing it from a place that is more relaxed, more open, and more present. And when you do anything from that state, everything around you is going to be influenced by that. So I would love to hear your takeaway from this video. I would love to hear if you have noticed if you're in a heightened nervous system state. Are you using any practices? Did any of these hit you right in the solar plexus and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do? And of course, I love comments or any ideas that you would like to hear about how to live as an empath, highly sensitive person, anyone who works with energy, which includes witches, starseeds, and healers as well. So again, let me know in the comments if there's something that you're looking to understand more about your gifts, because I want to make this channel super fun for all of us, and I want to give you guys information that makes living in an energetic world so much easier for you.